You know me pretty well, don't you, darling?
Yeah.
You're gonna get to know me a lot better, too.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the 10 stalkers from classic thrillers who are so creepy they'll have you looking over your shoulder for days.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Number 10, David McCall, Fear.
It all could have been different, Mr. Walker. You should have allowed nature to take its course.
David McCall from the 1996 film Fear is the prime example of how not to judge a book by its cover. He wins people over with his smile and charm, but underneath, he is a violent, obsessive predator. Played by Mark Wahlberg, David initially presents himself as an ideal partner for Reese Witherspoon's Nicole. It doesn't take long for his savage, true self to emerge. He's controlling, jealous, and violent.
You're just jealous. We have something that everybody wants, but nobody has.
His deranged behaviour escalates throughout the movie, and David is fully unmasked as a remorseless, murderous psychopath. His pursuit of Nicole is relentless, and he's willing to harm her friends and family to get his way. David's charming veneer is almost as terrifying as the violence he unleashes.
Let me tell you something. You better fix it. You better make it right again. Because if you don't, I'm gonna hurt you.
Number 9, Adrien Forester, The Crush.
Aw, Nick, can't you come out and play?
At first blush, Alicia Silverstone's Darien, renamed Adrien Forester, is the quintessential girl next door. She seems to be your typical teenager, with an innocent crush on Nick, a writer renting a guest house on her family's property. The crush, however, quickly morphs into an intense infatuation. Adrien is able to easily deflect suspicion thanks to her innocent doe eyes. But Nick soon learns not to be fooled.
Just goes to show you, Nick. You can never be too careful.
Her youthful charm is a cover for an intelligent and dangerously fixated mind. She is horrifyingly manipulative, sabotaging Nick's life when he rejects her advances. Adrien is calculated and vengeful. Combined with her sweet and harmless persona, she represents a truly chilling portrayal of youthful obsession turned deadly.
I still love you, Nick!
Cheyenne!
Nick!
Cheyenne!
Number 8, Adrian Griffin, The Invisible Man.
I found something that can prove what I'm experiencing, that can prove that Adrian is stalking me.
Have you ever been asked whether you'd want the power of invisibility or flight? Adrian Griffin from the 2020 film The Invisible Man is a great example of why we can't be trusted with invisibility. Adrian is a wealthy, brilliant scientist. When not discovering incredible breakthroughs in optical technology, he is an abusive sociopath.
If you fight me, I won't ever hurt you. I'll find someone you love and hurt them instead.
He decides to fake his own death, using an advanced stealth suit to haunt his ex-girlfriend Cecilia. Being invisible, Adrian is able to stalk and torment Cecilia, and nobody believes her version of events. He traps her in a prison of other people's doubts, leaving her isolated and terrified.
You need some medication. Adrian is dead.
Please, no.
Number 7, Evelyn Draper, Play Misty for Me.
You're a very nice girl.
But who needs nice girls?
Long before her iconic role as Lucille Bluth, Jessica Walter starred as Evelyn Draper in Play Misty for Me. Evelyn is an obsessed fan of radio DJ Dave Garver, played by Clint Eastwood. She weasels her way into his life, even managing a brief fling. Dave soon becomes alarmed by her stalker-like behaviour, pushing her away.
We don't have a goddamn thing between us. Now, how many ways am I gonna have to say this to you?
I don't care how many ways you say it, it's not true!
This sparks Evelyn's swift descent into madness. She becomes increasingly erratic and violent, repeatedly breaking into Dave's home, attacking him, and even harming herself in his house. Evelyn's unpredictability and obsession sets up tropes that Hollywood has adopted time and again in the decades since. Evelyn, in her own twisted way, is as much of an icon as Lucille.
God, you're dumb.
Number 6, Rupert Pupkin, the king of comedy.
I know, Jerry, that you are as human as the rest of us, if not more so.
In his younger days, Robert De Niro circled back to playing compulsive stalker types once per decade. In the 80s, he starred as Rupert Pupkin, a stand-up comedian with delusions of grandeur. The character sees fame, notoriety, and success in his future, relentlessly pursuing celebrity comedian Jerry Langford. He follows Jerry, ultimately kidnapping the Johnny Carson stand-in as a misguided attempt to force his way into the limelight.
You know, there's no reason to get mad about it. I'm just trying to ease the tension.
Rupert's personality is a dangerous cocktail, blending pathetic naivety with a chilling level of determination. He truly believes in his heart of hearts that he is forging a destiny of fame and fortune. The king of comedy is an unsettling look at our infatuation with celebrity culture, something that's only gotten worse since 1982.
The more scribbled the name, the bigger the fame.
Number 5, Annie Wilkes. Misery.
What's the matter?
What's the matter? I'll tell you what's the matter. I go out of my way for you. I do everything to try and make you happy.
While some works of art can be classified as love letters to the fans, Stephen King's Misery feels like a stiff arm. The film adaptation stars Ktie Bates as Annie Wilkes, the devoted fan of famous writer Paul Sheldon. She rescues Paul from a near-fatal car crash, devoting herself to his recovery. Her ministrations turn sinister when she discovers that Paul plans to kill off her favourite character.
I don't want her dead! I want her! And you murdered her!
Annie drops her facade, unleashing her inner sadist in a flurry of unpredictable mood swings and forces him to write according to her wishes. When he rebuffs her, she hobbles him, forcing him once more to rely on her for survival.
God, I love you.
Number 4, Seymour Parish. 1 hour photo.
We just took pictures.
Famed fashion photographer Helmut Newton once said, "Any photographer who says he's not a voyeur is either stupid or a liar." Such is true for Seymour Parish, a photo technician and star of 1 hour photo. Cy is desperately lonely, relying on the photos he develops for company. He becomes fixated on the Yorkins through developing their family photos, imagining himself as part of their lives.
You've been doing our pictures for a long time.
You know, I almost feel like Uncle Cy.
Relying on his unassuming demeanour to infiltrate their lives, Cy's actions become increasingly invasive. Robin Williams delivers his usual complexity, creating an impressively grounded balance between vulnerability and menace. As a result, Cy is an evocative portrait of isolation, seemingly a precursor of today's loneliness epidemic.
I was young, I was happy, and someone cared enough about me in this world to take my picture.
Number 3, Eve Harrington. All about Eve.
Margot, you've got to see her. She worships you. It's like something out of a book.
Eve Harrington is a seemingly devoted and loving fan of Broadway star Margot Channing. That guise of admiration allows Eve to fully ingratiate herself into Margot's life. Unlike many other cinematic stalkers, Eve isn't driven by a sense of loneliness or power. Instead, she wants to become Margot.
Don't you know that part was written for Margot?
It might have been 15 years ago. It's my part now.
Eve is cold, calculated, and systematic with her scheme to upend Margot's career and personal relationships. She's a predator, and her charm is just a tool to get what she wants: fame. As her false face fades away, she gradually transforms from doe-eyed ingenue admirer to ruthless usurper.
You do all that just for a part in a play.
I'd do much more for a part that good.
Number 2, Max Ktie. Cape Fear.
That much freedom could maybe get a felon into trouble. What do you think?
I'd like my keys.
Could it be you don't remember me?
De Niro first proved his creep factor bona fides as Travis Bickle, a violent cabbie obsessed with a young campaign volunteer. 15 years later, he teamed up with Martin Scorsese again, this time as Max Ktie in Cape Fear. Ktie is a convicted sex offender who harbours a deep-seated grudge against his former defense attorney. For his imprisonment, Ktie methodically stalks and terrorizes Bowden's family upon his release.
Counselor! Come out, wherever you are.
Like a tiger stalking his prey, he exploits their fears and weaknesses to exact his revenge. De Niro captures the character's menacing presence with ease, an embodiment of the terrifying consequences of an unchecked vendetta.
And I find you guilty, counselor, guilty of betraying your fellow man, guilty of betraying your country.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Hedra Carlson, single white female. Hedra Carlson is proof that imitation is not always the sincerest form of flattery.
I'm not like your sister, Annie. Not anymore. I'm like you now.
Kurt Duncan, When a Stranger Calls. Kurt Duncan is not the guy that you want calling from inside your house.
Leave me alone! Jill, this is Sergeant Sacker. Listen to me. We've traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Our squad car's on the way over there right now. just get out of that house.
Peyton Flanders / Mrs. Mott, the hand that rocks the cradle. Rebecca De Mornay stars as a nanny whose sweet smile hides her sinister intentions.
Look at you. When push comes to shove, you can't even breathe.
Rebecca Evans, the roommate, a cautionary tale about vetting the people that you're going to be living with.
All I ever wanted was to be your friend. Rebecca, I am your friend.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. We're here because you betrayed me.
Noah Sanborn, the boy next door, the classic tale of good looks disguising bad intentions.
Please, Claire. I will never, ever gonna let you go.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Alex Forrest, Fatal Attraction. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
You won't answer my calls, you change your number. I mean, I'm not gonna be ignored, Dan.
Alex Forrest is the personification of that sentiment in terrifying human form. Glenn Close plays the character with seductive grace, and it's easy to understand falling for her assertiveness. Alex engages in a brief affair with married lawyer Dan Gallagher. When Dan attempts to end it, her confidence crumbles.
You killed my wife. I'll kill you.
It was all a facade, masking a deeply disturbed and vengeful nature. She resorts to increasingly desperate and violent acts to force Dan back into her life, including stalking his family and endangering their lives. Alex is proof that in the wrong hands, love is a dangerous weapon. While her anger is understandable, relatable even, she takes her rage to an insane and violent extreme.
I'm just asking you to acknowledge your responsibilities. Is that so bad?
Got a favourite movie stalker? Lurk in the comments and tell us who gave you the chills.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.